Welcome to Middle Class Matters, Business News in English from Dr CMA Alagesan on the CAG report number 11 of 2020-23 on Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana PMJAY scheme. Part number 15 continued. 1. Four states Delhi, Odisha, Telangana and West Bengal, which account for 20% of eligible beneficiary population, are not implementing PMJAY. 2. Three large states Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, which account for 30% of the beneficiary population, are implementing the scheme for the first time, and the demand for health care services under PMJAY is still picking up. 3. Issues related to quality of decade-old SECC data has posed serious challenges in beneficiary identification, as some of the deprived poor families are not covered under the scheme and approximate 30% eligible beneficiary families are not traceable. 4. The average premium is lesser than 1052 per beneficiary family, as was estimated at the time of inception of PMJAY. The ministry further submitted that utilization of PMJAY was adversely impacted by the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Demand for healthcare services experienced a sharp downward trend. The states and union territories utilized the funds under National Health Mission (NHM), National Disaster Response Fund (NDRF), State Disaster Response Fund (SDRF), and wherever applicable through District Mineral Foundation funds for providing treatment related to COVID-19. This also contributed to limited utilization of funds through PMJAY. Ministry also stated in March 2023 that in the current year 2022-23, the budget allocation has not been reduced. 6.3. Release and utilization of grants. Irregularities or shortcomings noted in release and utilization of grant are discussed in the succeeding paragraphs. 6.3.1. Grants released to Chhattisgarh in 3 different bank accounts. Audit noted that NHA released grants of 280.2 crore, 217.26 crore and 112.62 crore in 3 different bank accounts to Chhattisgarh during 2018-21 in contravention of the guidelines which stipulate opening 2 separate designated escrow accounts by the SHA for receiving scheme implementation grant and administrative grant. Details are given below. Grants released to Chhattisgarh in 3 different bank accounts. 2018-19, 906 HDFC, implementation 211.84, administrative 5.59, total 280.20. 1920, 906 and 1920, 877, HDFC and Axis 62.77 and 212.01 and 5.59, 217.60, 2021 Axis Bank 851, 112.62, 112.62, total is 599.24, administrative expenses 11.18 and total is 610.42 crores. NHA accepted the facts and stated in August 2022 that the state of Chhattisgarh first implemented the scheme in hybrid mode and subsequently migrated to trust mode and converged with the state scheme Dr. Kumudchand Bahwal scheme. Hence, it opened multiple accounts. NHA may ensure that PMJAY guidelines are followed uniformly. 6.3.2 Non-maintenance of separate escrow account for PMJAY. PMJAY opening of escrow account guidelines provide for opening 2 separate designated escrow accounts by the SHA for receiving and incurring scheme implementation grant and administrative grant for effective implementation of the scheme. Audit noted that 3 state SHAs, Chhattisgarh, Punjab and Uttarakhand, had not maintained a separate escrow account for PMJAY and state-sponsored schemes. Both these schemes are operated through combined account. Details are 1. Chhattisgarh, PMJAY and State Bima Yojana. 2. Punjab, PMJAY and Sarbat Sabat Bima Yojana. 3. Uttarakhand, PMJAY, Atal Ayushman Uttarakhand Yojana. NHA admitted the fact and replied in August 2022 that many states implemented the scheme in convergence of state schemes with a larger beneficiary base. States and union territories were expected to map the beneficiaries in expanded database with eligible SECC families. However, this exercise could not be completed in absence of a common identifier between SECC database and non-SECC database used by the state. Hence, in the absence of separate list of SECC beneficiaries, there were common bank accounts. Escrow accounts are important for tracking and monitoring the flow and utilization of funds. The reply is not tenable as the PMJAY guidelines prescribe designated escrow account for operation of the scheme. NHA may ensure that specific accounts be maintained. Escrow accounts are important for tracking and monitoring the flow and utilization of funds. The reply is not tenable as the PMJAY guidelines prescribe designated escrow account for operation of the scheme. NH may ensure that specific accounts be maintained. 6.3.3 Release of grant without ensuring release of upfront share by SHS. PMJAY guidelines provide that the state union territories shall release its share upfront depending upon category of state or union territory into the designated escrow account of SHA for implementation of the scheme. Thereafter, NHA shall release its share of SHA. Audit noted that NHA released a grant amounting to 185.6 crore to 8 SHAs in Assam, 6.08 crore administrative, Bihar 16.34 crore administrative, Haryana 24.49 crore implementation, Jharkhand 4.21 crore administrative, Kerala 25 crore implementation, Tamil Nadu 11.66 crore administrative, Tripura 12.81 crore and Uttar Pradesh 85.01 crore during 2018-19 without ensuring release of upfront share by the respective states. NHA, while admitting the facts, replied in August 2022 that in the initial year of the scheme, funds were released upfront to ensure yearly implementation of the scheme. 6.4 Excess release of grant by NHA. Audit noted that excess implementation administrative grant was released by NHA to several states as discussed in succeeding paragraphs. 6.4.1 Excess implementation grant of 10.86 crore to Mizoram. The state of Mizoram rolled out the scheme in September 2018 in insurance mode with a premium of 1,396 per beneficiary family. Under the PMJAY, Mizoram had 1,94,859 eligible beneficiary families as per SECC data with sharing ratio of 90:10. In 2018-19, total liability of NHA and state of Mizoram were rupees 18.45 crore and rupees 8.75 crore respectively. However, the state released its upfront share of only 2.72 crore and NHA, which should have released only 5.74 crore on pro rata basis, released implementation grant of 16.6 crore to SHA, resulting in excess release of grant of 10.86 crore. NHA stated in August 2022 that till date SHA Mizoram had released 9.88 crore as its upfront share for GIA implementation and GIA administration. Corresponding share of NHA should have been 88.92 crore. However, only 63.4 crore had been released. Therefore, no excess funds have been released. NHA's reply is silent on the audit observation, which highlights excess release of grant of 10.86 crore to Mizoram during 2018-19. 6.4.2 Excess release of 8.3.7 crore to Andhra Pradesh. The central government share is released in three tranches of 45 is to 45 is to 10 in case of insurance mode and 50 is to 25 is to 25 in case of trust and mixed modes. Audit noted that NHA released excess implementation grant of 8.37 crore to SHA Andhra Pradesh for the period from 1/1/2020 to 31/12/2020 second year. NHA replied in August 2022 that 50% release requirement is not very crucial and more than 50% funds can be released to states depending on the need of the states. If other conditions including upfront release of state share are met, NHA reply is not convincing as per the release of excess grant to Andhra Pradesh was in contravention of the provisions of the guidelines. 6.4.3 Blockage of funds under RSBY 96.63 crore. Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana RSBY was a centrally sponsored scheme implemented by Ministry of Labour and Employment in 2008. With the launch of PMJAY, the existing RSBI was subsumed in PMJAY. The scheme was transferred to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare on as is where is basis with effect from 1st April 2015. Audit noted from records of RSBY in the state of Jharkhand that an amount of 121.63 crore was lying on the date of implementation, that is 23rd September 2018. Later on, 25 crore was transferred to the insurance company in September 2018. The remaining amount of 96.63 crore is still, that is March 2021, lying in RSBY account. NHA stated in August 2022 that it would inform MOHFW for necessary action including adjustment of funds as RSBY related affairs are being handled by a separate division in MOHFW. 6.4.4 Injudicious release of 3.76 crore to Puducherry and Punjab. PMJAY guidelines provide that state union territory shall release its share upfront depending upon category of state union territory along with its administrative expenses share into the separate designated escrow account of SHA opened by states or union territories for implementation of the scheme. The central government shall then release its share of grant in aid into the designated escrow accounts of the SHA of respective states or union territories. Audit noted that 1. NHA released grants amounting to 1.52 crore, that is 0.31 crore in October 2018 and 1.21 crore in March 2019 to SHA Puducherry before the commencement of the scheme in the Union Territory of Puducherry, that is July 2019. 2. Similarly, NHA released 2.24 crore to SHA Punjab in March 2019 before the commencement of the scheme in state August 2019. The above resulted in avoidable parking of grants in the two state union territories for a period ranging from 5 months to 9 months. NHA accepted the audit observation and stated in August 2022 that in the initial year, funds were released to states or union territories on urgent basis to kick-start the scheme implementation. However, in the subsequent years, funds have been released only after the following due process. 6.5 Diversion of grants by SHAs. PMJAY guidelines for release of administrative expenses stipulate that grant released for administrative expenses is to be utilized by SHA only for the specific purpose of incurring administrative expenses towards implementation of PMJAY. Audit noted that 7 SHAs, Dadar, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Nagaland, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu and Uttarakhand diverted the grant of rupees 50.61 crore from one head to another head, that is administrative grant to implementation and vice versa, and to state health scheme. NHA, while admitting the facts, replied in August 2022 that due to insufficient amount of grant and delay in receipt of grants by SHAs, the grants were diverted from one head to another head. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Please share to as many people as possible to know the status of various schemes implemented by the Government of India. This is a CAG audit report. Let us be all as educated people be aware of what is happening in the country, because we are all taxpayers, either a direct tax of income tax or as GST on every purchase which we make. Thanks for watching.